you have emojis on your fingers. I'm like, this is, to me, it's a gateway to me saying, it's because I'm a laughter teacher. Oh, what's a laughter teacher? What does a laughter teacher do? Well, I teach people to laugh. And actually today at Walgreens, the woman at the cashier saw it, and I said, I'm a laughter teacher. She said, people need to learn how to laugh. And I said, yeah.
That was Julie Plaut Warwick sharing her profession as a laughter yoga teacher to a Walgreens cashier who just so happened to catch a glimpse at her emoji-painted fingernails. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm just as curious about this thing called laughter yoga. It seems like everyone laughs multiple times on a daily basis, but do we really know about all of the health benefits that can come with laughter? In this podcast, I spoke with Julie to get a better grasp on why we laugh, what exactly is the concept behind laughter yoga, and what her experience has been with the several people who have attended her classes over the years.
So, my occupation, I am an inspirational speaker. I speak about joy, and I am a certified laughter yoga teacher. I went back to school in 2010, and I got a graduate degree from Antioch University. I got my master's in counseling. And in 2014, I graduated, and I started my private practice called Peaceful Owl Counseling. So I am a mental health counselor, and I work with loss and grief, and also with autism.
Knowing that Julie is certified in this practice, I wanted to find out how she was first introduced to laughter yoga. She talked about doing a quick lookup on Google, but it wasn't until she experienced this first.
It was the first weekend in May of 2013. I was doing my internship at the Healing Center, which is a grief and loss support group, and I was working with the children there, leading groups, and we had an event at Gasworks Park. And I was getting my booth ready for 75 people to come and write notes to their loved ones that have died. And getting my booth together, and all of a sudden, other people came who weren't my clients, and they said to me, hey, do you know where laughter yoga is? And I went, no, never heard of laughter yoga before. And then they said, do you know where World Laughter Day is? No, but that's really cool. I've never heard of a World Laughter Day before. And this young man told me all about it, and that there was a certification program. Now, if you remember, I told you that I was getting ready for these clients to come.
Right.
So I listened to him, kind of put the stuff in the back of my head, and I said, I can't attend to that right now. Mm-hmm. And 75 people came, they wrote notes. We put it on a string. We tied it onto the string, which was supposed to be a string to a balloon. But it was so windy out. So the balloon blew away, and we were left with this string. But imagine 75 people, kind of like you were in kindergarten, holding the line. My first degree is in music education.
Oh, okay.
And so I had my guitar, and I was leading them down from Kite Hill with my guitar. I was just strumming, just doing a song with no words to get them from point A to point B. Mm. And we're on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, it was World Laughter Day.
There we go.
It was World Laughter Day. There were kites, there was hats, there was laughing. And my group of people were not crying, but they were reflective. And one by one, they started to laugh.
Oh.
It's the most amazing thing that I had ever seen before. It's really cool.
After doing some research and fully investing herself in this new exploration, Julie decided to attend her first laughter yoga class.
So the next weekend, the second Sunday in May, is Mother's Day. And I went to my first class on Mother's Day, which was really cool. I went to my class. It was fabulous. And at the end, we do this laughter meditation where you lie on the ground. And I lied on the ground, and basically, you just laugh for no reason at all. You go 1, 2, 3, and it's laughing. You're on your back, your eyes are closed, you're connected to yourself, you're breathing, and it's amazing. And I cried. What happened is that there's so many people hold their emotions in their belly.
Right.
And when you use your diaphragm to laugh, you're disrupting that. And so it doesn't matter whether you laugh or whether you cry. The most important thing is that you're getting it up and you're getting it out. So you're getting it up and you're getting it out. And so I cried. It was Mother's Day. And I was sad about a lot of things. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And then we were done. And I said to the teacher, I came here to laugh. And he said exactly what I just told you. It's important to get it up and out. And that it's one emotion and 2 releases.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And so I always tell people that because there are people who, when they come to a class, they get upset if they start to cry to a laughter class. Why am I crying? Because it's really emotional. It's very, very emotional.
6 weeks later, Julie attended a 2-day class of 16 hours in Olympia to become a certified laughter yoga leader. This certification would allow her to lead her own classes.
So I took my class at the end of June, and I started teaching it at the Healing Center, but I also started a meetup group. I started the Eastside Laughter Club in July of 2013, and as of today, I think there's 633 people in it.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's 5 years. And that means 633 people are getting a weekly message of laughter. Do I have 633 people coming to my classes? No. I had 2 people come this past week. But sometimes I have 2, sometimes I have 22. It just depends on what's going on. And it's always, you could do it with 2 people. You could do it. I had one person come. It was Mother's Day, actually. This is a great story. I didn't want to cancel it because I had gone to my first class on Mother's Day.
Right.
So it was Mother's Day of 2014. And one person came. And she's like, oh, I could go home. I said, no. We'll do some laughter. It ended up that she had had 2 miscarriages. And she was coming to a laughter class so she could get some relief. So she basically had a one-on-one session with me. We had a therapy session because it's very therapeutic. I'm a counselor.
Yes.
So it was at that point I was just doing internship. I had not graduated yet, but I was still a counselor. And it was the most incredible, she felt lighter. She felt like she was able to think about those babies and grieve and let it go a little bit. So laughter to me is not just really silly business. It's a gateway to emotions.
Julie then talks about laughter as a serious business. She sees a corruption in the lack of laughter within society, which is why she is so passionate about her efforts in laughter outreach, to let the general public understand why it's important to laugh. Why do you think society tries to limit how often people should laugh?
That's an interesting question.
Or do you see that society doesn't?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do see that they say, oh, you shouldn't laugh at that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't laugh at that. So laughter does a couple of things. Number one, it's a defense mechanism. So sometimes people will laugh instead of cry, right? When you're at work, people think laughing, you're just being frivolous. There's lots of different cultures that laughing is not allowed. And in fact, I did a study at Evergreen Hospital with neurological disorders and laughter therapy. And there was one woman, she was 90. She had a stroke. And she would come to laughter class. She loved laughter class. And then one day, she told me that she would go home, and after laughter class, she would cry for 2 days. And when I explored it with her a little bit, she said, when I was a little girl, my grandma told me that if I laughed for 1 minute, I had to cry for 1 year. That was some superstition. You're not allowed to laugh. She left home at 17. But the laughing to her in her 90s, where she was getting ready to die, actually. I just found out last week that she passed away. But sometimes you go back to your childhood when you get older. You can't remember what you ate yesterday, but you can remember the smell of your grandmother's cooking, so you remember those senses. And she remembered her grandma saying that. And so she would cry for two days. And the last class she actually didn't come to because she didn't want to bring everybody down. Really, really interesting story of how laughter can affect us.
Eventually, Julie decides to fly to India to become a laughter yoga teacher, which entitles her to training others to lead their own classes. She was trained by the founder of laughter yoga, Dr. Kataria, who describes joy as being a combination of music, laughter, dance, and play. This is important to know because joy is the emotion that we want to release the most, and it was very evident in the exercise Julie showed me.
So I studied with Dr. Madan Kataria, who is the founder of Laughter Yoga. I went to Laughter Yoga University, and I went there for 2 weeks. The first week I did a silent and laughter retreat. I was a little nervous about that because I talk a lot. And it was awesome. And then the second week was a teacher training. So I was a certified laughter yoga leader. I had a group that I was leading every other week from July of 2013. So this is now the end of September of 2014. I learned how to teach people. So now I lead those classes, those certification classes.
Okay, I see.
So I've trained about 40 people to be laughter yoga leaders. So leader, the hierarchy is there's a leader, there's a teacher, there's a master trainer. So the master trainers can train people to become teachers. And then there's the guru. Laughter yoga exercises are very similar to theater games. So in terms of drama, it's a lot of improvisation. The one that I love is called a joy cocktail.
Joy cocktail. How do we do the joy cocktail?
So with a joy cocktail, you take your hands, like you have 2 cups, and you're gonna spill joy from one to the other. Ha.
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 You're gonna put them together like a martini, like a mixer, and go ha. So let's do it one more time.
All right.
Ha, 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 ha. That's usually an exercise that I do for a lot of people. Sometimes I'll do it when I'm standing in the line at the grocery store. Like, you need a joy cocktail.
And how do people normally react?
Sometimes people look at me like I'm crazy. You need to gauge who you think might benefit.
So, what are all of the health benefits that come with laughter? According to helpguide.org, there are several physical, mental, and social benefits. Some of these include a boost in immunity, stress relief, prevention of heart disease, relaxation of the muscles, and the strengthening of relationships. A healthy laugh can also burn calories, about 40 for every 10 to 15 minutes of laughter. Julie uses this information in her outreach because she enjoys teaching others and finds that most people are unaware of how much positivity can come from a good laugh. What kind of music do you listen to?
So, anything from Ed Sheeran to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes, okay.
Good vibration is a great one. Happy.
Of course. And we were talking about how a lot of people go to laughter yoga sessions as a coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get participants who are there just for other reasons?
So it's interesting. I get people, so there was a woman yesterday who came. She didn't know anything about it. She decided, I like yoga, I like to laugh. She came, and at the end of the class, and there was only me and 2 other people in this class, and I said, what'd you learn? Or, what was today like? 1 or 2 words, and she said strange. So, because some people, they don't know what they're getting into.
Right.
But they were brave enough to come, which I think is cool. I love doing this with organizations. I'd love to get into Microsoft and do it. Because I believe that when people laugh together, peace that comes, they feel lighter. They feel even holier and more at ease. And if I can help facilitate that for somebody, my job is done. But there are people who come in who don't come back. A lot of times people don't come back because of the feelings thing that I talked about. Sometimes they want them down there. They don't want them to come up. And they have a hard time with that.
If you wanted to convince people to take laughter yoga, what would you tell them? What kind of mindset should they come into to get the best experience from the session?
Say I was doing a class at UW.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so I was doing a class at UW, and I would tell people being positive, having a positive attitude will help you in your studies. It will help you to oxygenate your body and be more productive. Productivity will also help you to attend and to pay attention to what's going on. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. We do something called gibberish. I'm actually a nonsense professor.
Nonsense professor,
Yes.
What is that?
I studied gibberish with a man named Alex Sternick. He is from Israel. And we use gibberish. It is nonsensical, right? A lot of people talk about the Minions, right? Yes. But it's not nonsense. So what it is you're using emotion.
It was a true pleasure and a wonderful experience to have been able to attend one of Julie's classes. She hosts them on Sundays at La Vida Dance Studio in Kirkland. Besides laughing, I didn't know what else to expect from the experience, but I was able to record part of the session.
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! Hey, I look really silly doing that. Why would I do very good, yay?
Why not?
Why not? What does this do?
Open.
Totally opens you up. You can get on your knees.
Julie ends her classes by asking everyone for a word or two to describe their experience. And after laughing with others and doing a variety of exercises, I found myself walking away feeling cheerful and uplifted. I was able to experience what it felt like to play as a child, to meditate, to relieve stress, and to be in a room with other people who also wanted to laugh out loud. I agree with Julie when she says that not many people know about the health benefits of laughter, so I want to join in on her outreach. All it takes is one search online, and you'll quickly find the joy that I discovered with laughter yoga. Perhaps the best part about laughter yoga is knowing that you can do it anywhere. And I highly recommend that everyone find the time to practice laughing more often, because the world can only benefit from more laughs and happy souls.
Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, yay!